All right, let's try this again. Weege show from High Point. My camera keeps messing up. Not the camera's fault. It's the flash drive card we use. High Point is a wrap brought to you by DID Chains and DID Dirt Star Rims. Hope you enjoyed your Father's Day weekend if you were here or not. I did. I got to bring my kid to the race. You gonna race tomorrow?
Yeah.
That wasn't necessarily the plan, but the riding on Friday got rained out, so I got to give him some seat time. So that'll take place tomorrow. Now at about 6:30, this place looks beautiful. It looks beautiful, right, Sean?
This is amazing.
It's amazing. Now,
amazing.
Amazing. Right now. Now, that wasn't the case this morning. It was a lot muddier than I thought. They had some rain overnight Thursday night and a little bit of rain Friday evening, like 5 to 7 p.m. Not the most torrential rain I've ever seen, certainly not for this place, but it led to a super muddy morning. And usually when you get super muddy, you get super bad racing because everybody, it's so one line. If you even try to go outside of the one dry line in the middle, you just get stuck and slow down and you can't make anything happen. So considering all that, we had great racing today. And probably the most difficult day Jet Lawrence has had. I mean, look, he still went 1-1, which is a dream scenario for most riders, but he didn't lead every lap. How about that? That's something, right? And it was Ken Roczen who was just so good here in his jump back into the series. That was incredible. I was just hoping that maybe someone could lead a lap just because I knew the crowd would get psyched over that. There were several laps led. You want to find some swag parts? Yeah, you've had success with that before, right? Janine, you're getting it right now.
There he is.
I didn't need to do anything. The man does it himself. He's a good guy.
Hey, you know what? We said Jet doesn't have to wheel. You know.
How many sports have this level where a guy at this level would come over and give people selfies, autographs, all that? That's what makes motocross cool. There you go. You gotta respect it.
You gave photo when your son won.
Yeah, I'm not as cool as him though. I'm not nearly as nice.
Well, look at you.
Yeah, I mean, we can't all go 1-1.
Your hair still looks good.
At least it's still there. At least it's still there. So Jet goes 1-1. Still got time for the fans here at the end. And there's the rest of my crew. We'll try to get this post-race show together. But Ken Roczen really did challenge him, and that really made it fun to watch. Now, you never know. We say this every week. How much is Jet just managing? How much is he going all out in Moto 2? He was 10 seconds behind a Cian Cirillo Roczen duel for the lead. And then all of a sudden, the second half of the race, he just stepped it up and got it done. But at least it looked a little bit in doubt. And we're not hoping that Jet doesn't win. But I think after the first couple of rounds, these fans on the East that were dying to see this thing in person were like, oh, I'd like to see some action. And we did with Roczen throwing the challenge down. And that was cool. And I've got to think if you're, say, Chase Sexton sitting on the sidelines, you take a little something out of that and say, like, okay, Kenny hung with him. Maybe someday we'll get Sexton back and maybe he'll do the same. But it was fun, but it doesn't take away from this historic start to have two brothers winning everything at the start of the year. And by the way, they do use DID chains and DID Dirt Star sprockets on the bikes. Let me see if I can find a chain here to support our sponsor. That's the end of the day, the chains are already off.
Today I just
no chains, just trust me, DID gets it out. Watch the logo, watch the logo. Hope that worked. All right, we'll be right back. All right, we just finished up our post show over there. So somehow the mud race type of track that's normally one line led to entertaining racing. And it's kind of like Colorado. The more challenging the track is, the better the racing was compared to the first two rounds that weren't as deep. I've been saying this every week. This is an inexact science. First of all, sometimes even the intent that they have, and this weekend, they didn't intend for the track to be this gnarly. That was just the rain that did it. But even talking to the track crew in Supercross this year when I was down on the floor a lot announcing, they're like, people think we're purposely building one track more technical or steeper or more difficult than another, or this week we want it to be easier. A lot of times you're just dealing with dirt and it doesn't form up the way you expect. And they can only be so exact from the blueprint to the way a track actually races. And most of the racers will tell you the subtleties of transitions, for example, between jumps and Supercross, which a lot of it is just how the dirt forms. That's the difference between a track being easy or hard. It's just literally 1% difference or 1 inch difference in a transition that makes all the difference. So here, we happen to get great racing, and that was just a gift from Mother Nature and all the rain. It could have easily been a one-line slot car track where they couldn't move around. It had just enough to make it work. And then we inserted Roczen into the series. And like I said, maybe that's encouraging for other people who are on the sidelines to maybe come back in and think, well, I at least can run with Jet. But at the same time, it's the never-ending mystery of how hard is Jet going in these motos. Grant Harlan, I heard you and Phil had a knockdown drag out.
I mean, just like the AC battle last week, it was to the death.
Oh my gosh.
Whole moto.
To the whole last lap.
Yeah.
Dude, you sent it last lap. It was impressive. You gave it everything you had in the AC battle last week.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. So same thing with Phil.
Same thing with
Yes. Are you satisfied with how the day went though?
First moto was like, I got 11th, but
Yeah.
it was like a bummer 11th.
Oh, okay.
My start wasn't good.
Yeah,
Struggled.
yeah.
And then the second one was a good 9th, so we'll take it.
Can you explain to me finally, I have to admit, what is the Hawaii thing? Can we talk about the Hawaii thing? Why are you Hawaiian? Where are you actually Hawaiian?
I was born in Kailua Kona, Hawaii.
You really were, okay.
Big Island.
Yes.
Lived there until 2010, so
So legit.
good chunk of my early life.
A legit, yes.
And then I moved to Texas, so.
So the riding and training is not happening in Hawaii on a daily basis, but
Dude,
there's real roots.
I didn't train on a dirt bike until I was like 16.
Nuh-uh.
Yeah.
You were not taking it seriously at all.
I mean, I was going to, it took me 3 years to go to Loretta's. Like, I was
To try or qualify?
to qualify.
No.
I was trying from Hawaii. So like I would fly, race,
What?
fly home, and come back. It took me 3 years of that to make it.
You've gone from a guy who didn't qualify for Loretta's to top 10ing these things.
Yeah. Like
That's-
I was racing all these kids. Like I showed up to my first race in California.
Yeah.
At Verona Oaks, racing Mumford.
Yeah.
And like dude had like the double decker, like
Yes.
motorhomes and
Yes.
stuff. I was out of a rental pickup truck with no AC.
Wow. And now you're battling AC
AC, yeah.
at times. Yes.
I mean,
wow. Come a long way.
Can we say butterfly effect for that?
Maybe that's it.
Same thing. Same thing.
That's it. Yeah, so now you're at the point where 11ths are bummer 11ths, the way it's going.
At least right now.
That's a lot of progress.
Yeah.
All right, you're gonna do a lot of racing in the next couple months. You're doing Worlds and then coming back and doing more of these.
Yeah.
And playoffs.
Yeah.
Racers
I mean,
race.
it'd be nice if the Worlds were like on the off weekends. It would just be unlimited racing.
You want to race more?
Yeah.
Well, you started so late. I guess you got to get your fill.
Dude, yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
I was gonna say the walking and talking into the GoPro is pretty impressive because these rocks are treacherous.
Yeah, now you're in my head. It might not work. This section, this enduro cross right here, it might get me.
Hey, watch out for the lake.
We got lakes, we got rocks. Doing it for the Big Island, Grant Harlan, part of that privateer brigade. Now look, we didn't get the justice that people I'm sure wanted to see. Ty Masterpool end up on the podium. I mean, he was so close last week. It wasn't quite that good, but still he was like a 7th place dude, and he battled it out with the factory guys again. So I don't think this was a drop down as much as it might seem. Okay, it wasn't last to 5th like he had in the moto last week, but it was still very, very good. And it's the difference. These privateers are way closer than they were earlier in the year. And I don't mean position-wise. All these dudes are out, so the positions had already moved up, but they're closer as far as the gaps and the lap times and all those things. And you know, we got to make the most of it. You know, these are the guys that we got right now. I talked to Bruce Sternson from Kawasaki. There's even a chance that Anderson could be back as soon as Redbud, because he'll have 3 weeks of riding under his belt last week and then the next 2 weeks because we have a weekend off. That would be cool to have him reinserted in it. And the Sexton thing, who knows, it would definitely make things interesting. But I don't want anyone to think that we are rooting against the Lawrence brothers domination, because I said last week the sport is a weirdo thing where dominance seems boring at the time but becomes like a sensation as it starts to build. And when we finally catch on to the reality, we have 2 brothers winning everything, which no sport has probably ever had. That could be a sensation where people are like, I want to check this out, I want to get to the races, I got to see this. But it's a jarring effect when it first happens, and I will admit I'm guilty of it. You know, when I grew up, I was like, okay, there was a spell where it was Jean-Michel Bell, Jeff Stanton, Damon Bradshaw. They were the best guys. That was established in my mind that they were superstars. And this McGrath guy came out and just started winning as soon as he got in the 250 class, and it seemed weird and it didn't feel right. And then eventually you got to the point where it's the opposite, where McGrath winning was the rightest right you could possibly feel because you had gotten used to it. So sometimes there's a lag between something happening in reality and coming to grips with this is the way it is now. That's not something in the future, it's something in the present. So we'll have to keep an eye on when that flips and when people realize, you know, this could be a golden era, even if it's a dominant era. Or there's dudes sitting on the sidelines right now, they're like, no, there will be no dominance once I come back. So it'll be interesting how it turns out as we're in this weird transition that we kind of knew was going to happen at some point. I mean, Roxon's older, Tomac's older, Anderson's older, Barsha's older, Christian Craig's a rookie in the class, but he's older. At some point, someone new was going to take over. The great odds, of course, it was going to be one or both of the Lawrence brothers, Sexton as well. So that transition was going to happen. It might have already happened, but it'll be interesting if these guys get back in there and get to battle them like Roxon did today. That was like a small window into the way it might look next year, playoffs this year, if dudes are back and healthy. I think everyone would just love to see it at least once. We got to see Roxon against Jet today. I think everybody would love to see Tomac against Jet, including Jet himself. I think would like to test himself and learn from the hands of the master, Eli Tomac. Maybe, just maybe, we get Tomac back. Supercross next year, perhaps? I don't know. Probably depends on how much fun he's having right now as a non-racer. He's probably enjoying it quite a bit. That's High Point. The gift from Mother Nature. The rain actually led to good racing. Super gnarly track conditions. And one more thing. We hope Justin Cooper's okay. That's a big drain plug pulled out of this, we thought, pending championship battle between he and Hunter Lawrence in the 250s. That's a bummer to see Jay Coop go out like that. Hopefully he's back soon. Maybe Redbud, I don't know. I think he took a shot under the chin with his handlebars. But Hayden Deegan, I've said it every week on this show. I mean, the kid just keeps proving that he's for real. I don't know if the down of the rookie year that's usually inevitable is coming. He might just be good the whole time. And him and RJ Hampshire always giving you 110%. That's a fun battle to watch. All right, that's the Reed Show. We're wrapped at High Point. See you in 2 weeks at Redbud.